back here. Y'all make enough money off of me.
To leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
The drama between Tyla and Rihanna just went from whispers to wildfire, and fans can't stop talking about it. Tyla, the South African rising star who blew up with her smash hit Water, has been hailed as the next global pop princess, but the comparisons to Rihanna have turned into more than just casual chatter. Everywhere Tyla goes, people are either crowning her Rihanna 2.0 or dragging her as a copycat. And now Tyla herself is starting to throw subtle shade about being trapped in Rihanna's shadow. This isn't just about two women in music, it's about power, image, and who really gets to run the global pop game. Before we dive all the way into this mess, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below on whose side you're taking in this growing feud, because trust me, you're going to have a lot to say once you hear these details.
Rihanna was like, I just wanted to be her. So my parents were like, be realistic, like you need to work. This can be a side, a hobby.
Well, the first thing I saw, was her beauty and how beautiful she was. And then I listened to her music and I loved her music. She's incredibly talented. I think she's what every female artist should strive to be or strive to be like, because she, despite all her success, she still remains humble.
Tyla's breakout moment was nothing short of explosive. Water didn't just climb, it dominated. The song went viral on TikTok, the choreography challenge was everywhere, and her Grammy win cemented her as the face of African pop going global. Practically overnight, she was thrust into the spotlight, and with fame comes comparisons. The internet started clocking similarities in her hair, her styling, her effortless cool, and the sultry confidence that reminded so many of Rihanna's early days. But with every compliment came accusations. People mocked her as cosplaying Rihanna's old looks, some even claiming her team was copying Rihanna's exact career blueprint. That would be flattering if it stopped at surface-level resemblance, but fans online don't hold back.
My favorite place in the whole world is Barbados. You found out I went to Barbados and I couldn't stay outside. I was like, Rihanna's gonna be so pissed at me. You're like, this girl, Iris Star. I was like, I don't know who, but then my cousin, she just, oh my god, I thought this girl, Iris Star, and we went down on homework. Obsessed.
And for Tyla, the comparisons quickly became a curse as much as a crown. The viral nature of her rise was no accident. That TikTok dance challenge was engineered to catch fire, the water splashes, the cheeky floor slides, and the choreography designed for repeat loops made it unavoidable on people's feeds. This wasn't just a song, it was a performance crafted to go viral. And it worked. But with virality came skepticism. Critics started whispering that her success was too polished, too sudden, too perfect. The dreaded phrase, industry plant, started popping up in comment sections. The idea that she was being carefully packaged and pushed by a major label only added fuel to the fire. And while plenty of artists benefit from industry backing, Tyla became the perfect target for those who think every overnight sensation must be manufactured in some boardroom. Through all the chatter, Tyla has remained measured but firm. She's repeatedly said how much she respects Rihanna, even calling her an inspiration.
You guys know me and holding awards. I'm not strong enough. Please. Are you able to open me? Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Firstly, thank you. Thank you, my Tigers. Thank you, MTV, my team, God, everyone. This is such a big moment for Africa, African music.
But she's also made it clear that she refuses to live in anyone's shadow. I'm my own artist. I'm Tyla, she said, drawing a line in the sand between homage and imitation. Her interviews have become little exercises in subtle shade, acknowledging Rihanna as a legend while quietly insisting that her own story is unique. It's a delicate balancing act. Accept the compliment without letting it define you. But if you listen closely, it's obvious she's tired of people boxing her in as a replacement rather than an original. Meanwhile, Rihanna herself hasn't stayed entirely out of the conversation. She hasn't named names, but her cryptic posts keep fans guessing.
And I would say music was the thing that got the attention. But God had other plans for me, and I was able to create in ways that were like very sincere and genuine or organic and authentic to the things that I love. So it doesn't even feel like a job. But when you bring it home.
One of her most infamous lines, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper," was interpreted as a shot aimed squarely at Tyla. Was Rihanna throwing shade, or was it just another one of her faith-driven posts? The internet doesn't care about nuance. The timing, the wording, the history, all of it was enough for fans to declare war on behalf of their fave. To them, it wasn't just a Bible verse. It was Rihanna reminding everyone that no matter who comes up, she's untouchable. Fashion has only intensified the comparisons. Tyla has been serving looks that scream moment, from a jaw-dropping sculpted Balmain gown at the Met Gala to sleek red carpet appearances that channel the same rebellious glamour Rihanna built her brand on. And while Tyla's looks stand on their own, the echoes are impossible to ignore. Anna Wintour herself tapped Tyla for the Met Gala host committee, which instantly fueled the Rihanna 2.0 narrative. For fans, it was either proof that Tyla's being molded as Rihanna's replacement, or that she's simply inheriting her own rightful space at fashion's top table. Either way, every outfit becomes part of the feud. Then there's the industry side. Tyla isn't an indie artist grinding out of her bedroom, she's backed by Epic Records, and that comes with global machinery. When her early singles were being pushed onto timelines before most people knew her name, the conspiracy theories started writing themselves. Paid placements, algorithm boosts, curated virality, it all contributed to the idea that she wasn't just lucky, she was built. And for many, that blueprint looked suspiciously familiar. Rihanna had Jay-Z and Def Jam. Tyla has Epic and a relentless social media engine. The similarities made the replacement project theory almost irresistible to fans who love a good conspiracy. Adding fuel to the fire, Rihanna's influence in the industry can't be overstated. She hasn't released an album in nearly a decade, but her grip on fashion, beauty, and culture is unshakable. If Rihanna's not vibing with Tyla's rise, could doors be closing quietly behind the scenes? Fans believe it's possible. Despite Tyla's global smash and Grammy win, she hasn't locked in the massive collaborations you'd expect for an artist at her level. No Drake feature, no Beyoncé duet, and of course, no Rihanna cosign. For some, that absence speaks louder than any post. They're convinced Rihanna's silence isn't passive, it's strategic. But not everyone is ready to drag Tyla. Cardi B recently stepped in to defend her, calling out the relentless negativity Tyla faces online. Cardi's raw honesty put the spotlight on how toxic the comparisons have become. For Tyla, having a heavyweight like Cardi in her corner was a big deal, showing the industry isn't just sitting back watching her be dragged. Cardi's support reframed the feud for a moment, turning it from a two-woman standoff into a bigger conversation about how fan wars and industry politics tear down rising stars before they've even had a chance to breathe. And let's not forget the darker undertones of the music industry that haunt every conversation about sabotage. Old clips of Rihanna's own rise, including chilling stories about the pressure she faced early in her career, remind fans how cutthroat the business really is. When people resurface that footage, they start to wonder if Rihanna might now be using her power to make sure no one replaces her. It's speculation, but in a business built on rivalries, it doesn't sound far-fetched. And that's why Tyla's story resonates, because it feels like history repeating, with Rihanna now on the other side of the chessboard. The conversation has also turned to colorism and image. Some critics whisper that Tyla's lighter complexion and international styling make her more palatable to Western markets compared to darker-skinned African artists who have also made waves, like Thames or Ayra Starr. That kind of speculation has only made the comparisons to Rihanna sharper, since Rihanna herself was packaged as exotic yet palatable when she first broke into the US market. Whether true or not, these narratives shape the way people view Tyla's success, and it adds another layer of controversy around whether she's being pushed as a manufactured replacement or if she's carving her own authentic path. As if the fan wars weren't messy enough, social media has turned every interview, every post, every caption into ammunition. When Tyla posts about being secretly recorded, people swear she's calling out Rihanna's camp, trying to sabotage her. When Rihanna posts a cryptic quote, people declare it's shade thrown at Tyla. The truth could be innocent, but in the digital age, subtlety is fuel for gossip. Entire TikTok accounts now exist just to decode their every move, and the drama practically feeds itself. Fans no longer just consume music, they consume narratives, and Tyla versus Rihanna has become a soap opera, with every post acting as a new episode. Meanwhile, Tyla keeps making major moves. She's hosting award shows, landing high fashion endorsements, and staying in the global spotlight. These opportunities prove she isn't slowing down, but the whispers of sabotage continue. Could Rihanna's influence really be blocking certain doors? Could collaborations be quietly withheld? Fans can't decide if Tyla's trajectory is unstoppable or if she's heading for a ceiling enforced by the same icon who inspired her. It's a cruel irony, and it's exactly the kind of tension the industry thrives on. Rivalries generate headlines, and headlines generate streams. But if you zoom out, this feud is bigger than two women. It's about how the industry recycles legends by building their replacements. Rihanna went from Caribbean newcomer to global icon in a matter of years, and now Tyla is being packaged with the same formula. The problem is, when the shadow of an icon is that large, it can swallow a rising star whole. Tyla's greatest risk isn't failing, it's being remembered only as the next Rihanna instead of the first Tyla. That's why she keeps stressing individuality in every interview, because she knows the stakes. Her future depends on convincing the world that she's more than a clone. For Rihanna, the question is whether she sees Tyla as a threat or as a non-issue. She has nothing left to prove she's a billionaire mogul with fashion, beauty, and business empires. But legacy is fragile, and the idea of being replaced is something no superstar takes lightly. Even if Rihanna isn't actively sabotaging Tyla, the perception that she could be is enough to keep fans fueling the rivalry. And in a world where perception matters as much as reality, that's all it takes to make this feud a permanent fixture in the pop culture conversation. At this point, Tyla's next moves are critical. If she can pivot her sound beyond the Rihanna comparisons, dive deeper into her Amapiano and Afrofusion roots, and give fans a distinctly new experience, she'll stand out. If she doubles down on fashion concepts that feel fresh and avant-garde instead of echoes of Rihanna's looks, she'll build her own visual identity. But if she continues to lean on the same formulas that made Rihanna a global star, she'll never escape the comparisons. She has to decide whether she's going to be an echo or a voice. And that choice could define her entire career. So as fans keep debating whether Rihanna is shading Tyla, sabotaging her, or simply ignoring her, one thing is clear: the industry loves this drama. Every rumor, every cryptic post, every look-alike outfit keeps people talking. And as long as people are talking, the machine keeps running. Whether Tyla ends up as the next global superstar or another casualty of comparison culture depends on how she plays the game from here. One thing's for sure, this isn't the last chapter. Tyla's rise has only just begun, and Rihanna's throne remains as powerful as ever. The question is, will there be room for both of them at the top? Or will this rivalry end with only one woman left standing? But here's where it gets even more twisted. Behind the scenes, fans are convinced there's a silent tug-of-war happening in the industry. Some whisper that Rihanna's allies in fashion houses, magazine boards, and even festival lineups are hesitant to fully embrace Tyla out of loyalty to their queen. Think about it. Rihanna has ruled as the ultimate crossover star for nearly 2 decades, and entire networks of executives owe their success to betting on her brand. If they start pouring resources into Tyla, does that feel like betrayal? Or worse, does it send a message that Rihanna's reign has an expiration date? The fear of being seen as replacing an icon might explain why Tyla's not yet getting those blockbuster collabs everyone expected after her Grammy win. And fans eat this up, turning every missed opportunity into proof of sabotage. Whether it's true or not, the whispers amplify, and Tyla's career becomes part of a narrative bigger than her music. That's the trap of comparisons suddenly. It's no longer about whether you can sing, but whether you're allowed to shine in the same light as the person you're compared to. And maybe that's the real danger of this feud. It's not just Tyla versus Rihanna, it's Tyla versus the expectations of an entire generation raised on Rihanna's legacy. Rihanna doesn't even need to directly shade her. The weight of her silence speaks volumes. Every time Rihanna stays quiet while fans debate Tyla, it keeps the rivalry alive without her lifting a finger. Tyla, on the other hand, has no choice but to keep speaking up, insisting she's her own artist, because if she doesn't, the narrative writes itself for her. And that's what makes this so fascinating. It's not just a music story, it's a power story. It's about how icons protect their thrones, how newcomers fight for oxygen, and how the industry plays puppet master behind the curtain. Tyla's either on the brink of becoming a global superstar who breaks free of the shadow, or the next cautionary tale about what happens when the machine tries to recreate magic twice. And until we see how it plays out, the only thing guaranteed is more drama, more speculation, and more reasons for fans to pick a side in this growing storm.